I often get asked, what is the best camera? What is the best camera under a certain budget? Small digicams, like a little sensor camera. Is this specific camera good? I do think there are a few ways you can go about it. One is do a lot of research, try to find specific features, the way that the features work that will fit well with your style. But if you're just starting out, you're not going to know what your style is. You're not going to know how you want to do things. Spending a ton of time doing research isn't necessarily going to help you out. It might turn out worse. You never know. So that's one way to go about it, is a lot of research. Another way is just to find something relatively cheap. I mean, if you have a lot of money, buy something nice. Then, it doesn't matter. But if you are restrained in how much money you can spend, find something that you think will work okay. Maybe not the best, but you'll still be able to do it, which is the thing. You want to do something. If you want to vlog, you need a certain feature set that works well enough for that. There are definitely cameras that don't work well for that type of use. But if you're going to do straight photography, you have a pretty wide selection of cameras that'll work, such as this camera, for example, the Sony A6000 that I picked up recently locally at Target. Big clearance sale, couldn't pass it up because I need content for my channel, and having something like this will definitely help out. Getting a variety of different cameras, in my case, for what I do, is very helpful. Take some photos today, you can see that in this video. But yeah, now this specific camera, is it good for vlogging? Not necessarily. Can it do it? Sure, it can do it to a point, but it doesn't have a microphone input, which is big negative, my opinion, and you're only going to have optical stabilization with whatever lens you're using, but that's the same for like the M50. And of course, no flip forward, flip to the side screen. So there are negatives to a camera like this for that type of use. But straight photography, you have a viewfinder, you have interchangeable lenses, you have a nice sensor inside, just decent quality, has a relatively good amount of tactile controls on it, like this dial here on the top to adjust settings. It has a dial on the back to do that as well. So in general, especially for what I paid, $200, I couldn't pass it up. You might think you're wasting time or money buying something low cost and functional enough, but in my opinion, if you're out there doing the photography, you're figuring out what works, what doesn't with that specific tool. You're figuring out ways to use it well and adjust, your goals maybe a little bit, or adjust the way you do things to make that tool as functional as possible. You're learning things, which I think is the biggest aspect to it. You're figuring out what exactly the feature set, the way that the camera works, the way that the lens works, and then you can adjust things in the future. You can sell the camera as long as you don't destroy it. If you're so extremely limited that you can't buy another camera for years and years and years, sure, you want to spend some time researching, but think of it as more of renting it instead of buying it and just holding on to it forever. With these type of cameras, digital cameras, they do drop in price quite a bit initially, but then they kind of hold their value for a good long while. Even just using this camera a little bit for photography, I can already see some quirks, some potential things that I would have to keep in mind when I'm using it for just straight photography. Of course, no touchscreen, which is probably good in some situations. Also, it's with this specific lens, it's kind of slow because it's a automatic power zoom type of thing, where it just takes some time to go back or forth through the zoom range. Anyways, I would prefer going with something relatively low cost that works well enough instead of spending a huge amount of time researching and restricting yourself to the point that you don't do anything at all, which I think is worse than the alternative of maybe not getting the perfect camera out of it. If you've seen a few of my videos and you like them, definitely consider subscribing. That helps out. Of course, liking the video is good as well. Sharing it and the applause feature is very nice. Comfort of you, Banzai. Thanks. Get that bird.